What was your motivation factor to keep on going? Because 25 सेकंड बहुत ज़्यादा हो जाता है.
My father was in the Air Force.
तो जो आप रेगुलर एसएसपी पे जाते हैं और इस एंट्री के लिए जब आप गए, हाउ डिफिकल्ट इट वाज फॉर यू टू गेट रिकमेंडेशन?
Started off by giving the NDA exams, but unfortunately I could not clear the SSB. Even if you are APJ Abdul Kalam, even if you are Amitabh Bachchan, these are the people who still got conference out, or they were not selected for the SSB.
Take me through your journey regarding SSP.
I have so much to speak on this.
Forge is not a job, but a choice of life. You can be in any profession, still be a part of army and serve the country. Yes, you heard me right. Territorial army is one of the ways to join the army. And in this video, we have a very special guest. In this episode of Defense Roger, we have Ashish, who got the recommendation in 25th attempt for Territorial Army. He gave 3 attempts for TA, and rest of the attempts he has given all the defense, whether it's CDS, NDA, AFCAT, direct entries, and he has a lot of experience, exams, and he has seen the process getting evolved. In this video, we have talked about the changes which are there in the process of selection regarding TA and what really costed him, the kind of sacrifices he did for the selection, and the changes he made for the preparation. We have talked everything in very much detail, and if it gives you any value in your preparation, make sure you subscribe and show your love. Without any further delay, let's get back to the video. Hi Ashish, welcome to the platform, and this is a really special video because I was not aware that there is a large sort of audience who are preparing for TA exam, and आपने अभी recently TA entry के through recommendation लिया है, so kudos to that and many congratulations, and thank you so much for joining me here.
Thank you very much, Sheetal, for having me on your platform. I have been actually watching your videos for a very long time, and I have learned and grown through your videos, and the recommendation has a credit. I would say that my recommendation will be, it won't be complete if I do not give you the due credit for it. So your page has actually helped me a lot in, getting a good insight into the real SSB procedure. And I have you've had so many interactions with the, I think, psychologists and GT officers. Their insights have provided me the right guidance. So that has been really helpful.
Thank you so much. Your words means a lot to me. We'll dive into the questions. Ashish, there are so many doubts I've gathered because TA के regarding ना इतना information है ना इतना detail available है. लोग इंटरव्यूज के थ्रू या डिस्कशंस के थ्रू मेरे को लगता है कि ज्यादा सीख पाते हैं. एंड आपने पूरा प्रोसेस देखा है. यू हैव गिवन ग्रेजुएशन एंट्रीज आल्सो, एंड टी के भी आपने 3 एंट्रीज दिए. तो हमारे पास बहुत सारी चीजें हैं डिस्कस करने के लिए. बट फर्स्टली आई वांट टू नो मोर अबाउट यू. आपका बैकग्राउंड कैसा है, आप कहाँ से बिलोंग करते हैं, किस प्रोफेशन में है, एंड आपने कितने अटेम्प्ट्स अब तक दिए हैं?
Yeah, sure. There is, when I appeared for this exam for the very first time, I was not aware because a lot of information was not available, neither online nor on the YouTube. But when I actually filled the form and went through the entire process once, then I had a good first-hand experience of it. So now, after getting recommendation, I think I have that much information which I can pass on through your channel, and those who are watching can have better understanding of the entire process. So talking about me, I am from Bhiwadi, Rajasthan, and I am a engineer by profession. I'm a civil engineer.
Okay.
And currently I'm working as an auditor in CAG. I appeared for Territorial Army in 2022. That was my first attempt for TA.
Okay.
Talking about all the attempts, this was my 25th SSB which I appeared for, and this was my first recommendation in all those previous attempts. So 2022 was the first TA attempt. Then after that, I got conference out for that particular attempt. After that, I appeared for 23, and in that attempt, I was PIB out.
Okay.
And this 2024 attempt, I got recommendation.
25 attempts, Ashish, बहुत ज़्यादा attempts हैं. और what kept you really going? That is something which I'm curious about, because एक टाइम के बाद इंसान सोचता है professional life is going good. What is the need for such exam, to appear for such exam? What was your motivation factor to keep on going? Because 25 attempt बहुत ज़्यादा हो जाता है. So what was your motivation factor?
First of all, I would say that I come from a defense background. My father was in the Air Force.
Okay.
So the liking and I had a very close experience with that lifestyle. So right after my 12th standard, I wanted to join the armed forces. Started off by giving the ND exams, but unfortunately, I could not clear the SSB.
Mhm.
Then, even after graduation, I was thinking that this is the only profession I want to pursue. So I prepared for CDS, FCAT entries, and other technical entries.
Mhm.
But unfortunately, I was not able to crack the SSB. So till 2019, I was giving the written exams. I was going for the SSBs,
Mhm.
conference out, screen out. This was the normal process that I was going through.
Okay.
So the motivation definitely was my parent, my father, who was in the Air Force, and the lifestyle that the armed forces offers. This has been always something, a factor that has kept me going after so many failed attempts.
Okay. We'll now talk about the overview of TA because काफी लोग एस्पायर तो करते हैं बट उनको एग्जैक्टली पता नहीं है कि किस तरह का प्रोसेस है, किस तरह की वैकेंसीज निकलती है, कौन कौन अप्लाई कर सकता है. सो विल टॉक अबाउट द ओवरव्यू ऑफ TA, व्हाट काइंड ऑफ एंट्री इट इज एंड व्हाट काइंड ऑफ वैकेंसीज आर देयर एंड perks and benefits. We'll talk about the complete selection process because आपने जब 3 अटेम्प्ट दिए हैं तो you have seen पहले PIB होता था, अब PIB नहीं होता है, तो there are so many changes
अब नहीं होता
in
हाँ
this particular entry. And कितनी
या
बार
या
एग्जाम कंडक्ट होता है, इज इट एनुअली और वैकेंसी बेस्ड? सो टेल मी अबाउट TA entry.
Yeah, TA is actually it is this particular organization, which is also a part of the Indian Army. It invites applicants who are already employed, either in private sector, gainfully employed, either in the private sector or in the public sector, or self-employed. So if someone is self-employed or working in private sector or public sector, they only can apply for this entry. Otherwise, if you are unemployed, you cannot apply for this entry.
Okay.
First thing is that initially back in 2022, when I appeared for it for the first time, the syllabus was same, which is now GS, reasoning, English, and maths. But the only difference was it was conducted offline.
Okay.
Now it is CBT based exam, where computer based exam, where you have to go and give the exam online. But before, you were given a center and 1 hour each for both the two sections. First section was reasoning and maths, and second was English and GS.
Okay.
So in that, you have that liberty, to go through once all the exam questions. But in online, what happens is, if you are, it's very difficult to go through all the questions once. So I think that part was a bit easier for aspirants, lot of aspirants, because once you get the booklet, you can open it, see which section is good, where you can score good marks, you can strategize your time and all. But in online examination, you don't have it.
Right.
So now what happens is, initially in 2022, we used to give the written exam, then the results were announced. After that, we were called for the PIB, which is again a screening test, kind of a screening test, where there is a kind of conference where all the aspirants who have cleared the written exam, they're called. They go through the conference. If the candidate is found suitable, then only he's recommended for the SSB.
Okay.
So there were 3 stages one has to cross in order to get into the armed forces for the TA. But what they have done this time is they have done away with the PIB. Offline has been brought online. Now it is exactly like SSC CGL pre-exam. But the only difference is you get 2 hours for it. In CGL, you get only 1 hour to solve the question paper. Also, one question carries 1 mark. So 25 questions for each section, 1 question, 1 mark, and there is a negative marking of 1/3.
Okay.
So still, as if I compare this examination to CGL, it is much more easy because of the time given. In CGL, you just get 1 hour, but here you get 2 hours. So the time factor has reduced the that difficulty level of this exam.
Right.
Now you have to clear the written exam. You get the call. If your name is in the list, then you are given a call for the SSB. You appear for the SSB, and the SSB is similar to all the other SSBs for other entries like CDS, FCAT. There is no change in the SSB.
Okay.
And talking about the documents, when you go for the SSB, documents are, you have to have your NOC. If you are working in private sector, then you have to have it from your employee. In your private public sector also, the government will give you the NOC. If you are self-employed, then you you don't need an NOC, but you just have to give one affidavit that you are employed here and all that. Then second thing is you need to have your ITR. That is a proof that you are employed somewhere.
Okay.
Or if you don't have the ITR, then you have to give your salary slip. Then all the original documents that you have, your graduation degree, the certificates, 10th class mark sheet, passing certificate, all those. These are the documents that are required. Back in 2022, they used to double verify at the time of PIB also, and at the time of SSB also, they used to double verify the documents. And they also used to call for your physical fitness certificate, but now they have done away with this as well. So now you have to carry your NOC. Then if you don't have ITR, you have to carry your salary slip and the other original documents.
Okay.
This is what the process. Otherwise, the SSB process is completely similar to the ones that we face in the regular entries. There is no difference at all.
And what about vacancies? Because many.
Yeah.
Please.
Vacancies for the last 2 years, we have seen that in this particular entry, we have 18 vacancies for men and 1 for women.
Okay.
And the notification for 25 has also come. In this also, the vacancy, the figures are the same, 18 for men and 1 for women.
Right.
But the consistency is, I would not say it is very consistent, and annually the TA is releasing the vacancies, but it is not like that. Before it used to take 2 years gap, earlier 3 years gap. So it's not a very frequent entry that you get every year. Right. It depends on the requirements of the forces. Whenever there is a requirement, there is a notification and they start the recruitment process. Right. I would not say, unlike the UPSC, which is not a very regular entry that you can see it every year.
Right. That is so true, because last time I think 2013 के अंदर दिसंबर में एग्जाम था, एंड अब अभी जब फाइनली अब आई थिंक आईएमए के साथ ये लोग ज्वाइन करने वाले हैं, जितने भी लोग सेलेक्ट हुए, तो कितना लंबा गैप है, और इसकी भी इंफॉर्मेशन इतनी फ्रीक्वेंटली चीजें डिस्कस नहीं करी थी. तो आई थिंक दैट इज द रीजन पीपल आर मच मोर कंफ्यूज्ड एंड दे वांट टू नो अ लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स अबाउट इट. एंड ट्रस्ट मी आशीष, आई थिंक दिस सेशन इज गोइंग टू बी अ बिट लॉन्ग because there are so many questions for you. Apart from that, what is in these 3 attempts, like you have already gone through, is there any extra change do you feel that you have gone through? I mean, apart from these things we have discussed, is there anything else which you want to highlight? In terms of medicals, is there some relaxation? Yeah, anything apart from it?
No, if you talk about the SSB process, it is completely similar to the one that we face while giving our regular entries. There is no change at all.
Okay.
It's just that over there you have that CDS batch number. Here you have a different batch number, which is for TA. Okay. Rest everything is same. The process is same. The medicals are same. There is no relaxation given for the. I mean, people might be thinking that okay, the age limit is from 18 to 42. So we might have some physical relaxation in that, but it is not the case.
Okay.
The army is very strict when it comes to physical parameters. If you have any problem, then even after recommendation, there are chances that you will be medically out. Okay. So your fitness has to be up to the mark. There is no relaxation given whenever you are getting recruited for the officer entry. This is something which is very important.
All right. Now we'll talk about written, because written में जैसे आपने कहा पहले ऑनलाइन होता था, एंड अब चीजें पहले ऑफलाइन होता था, अब चीजें ऑनलाइन शिफ्ट हो गई हैं. तो people have so many doubts regarding it, because offline paper you can carry it outside and you can discuss, but online चीजें हैं तो इतना data it is not available. You have cleared the written, so there are certainly a lot of things we should, I think, discuss. Precisely इस एग्जाम का पैटर्न कैसा है, and talking about syllabus and difficulty level, किस लेवल का एग्जाम कंडक्ट होता है? जैसे आपने कहा कि एसएससी सीजीएल के इक्वल है, बट व्हाट इज द डिफिकल्टी लेवल apart from the time duration that you have mentioned, and how somebody can prepare with subjects and topic to be focused more about. Along with that, is there any specific book you want to mention, online platform or coaching that you have taken for this whole preparation, and how did you manage your time, because you are already working and then you have applied for it? How do you manage to do the written preparation precisely?
Yeah, sure. Sheetal, I would like to say, since I cleared SSC CGL,
Okay.
So during that period, I had done a very rigorous practice. I have given a lot of mock exams for the prelims, for the mains exam. So I am very much aware with the online CBT exam. So I have the experience. I know how it feels like when you are appearing for an online exam. The time constraint is there. You are under a lot of pressure, and sometimes if you just are stuck on a question, you can freak out. The chances are you might leave the entire question paper.
Right.
So just because I've had a previous experience with SSC CGL, this time the online exam was pretty much easy for me.
Okay.
I would say that experience has helped me clear this exam. And because of that, I did not actually prepare that much for it. I just whenever the when the exam approached, I what I did was I applied for a few mock tests on
Okay.
textbook series, and I gave around 10 to 15 mocks. I practiced through those mocks. That was, I think, sufficient for me during my preparation. But for people who have just started preparing, those who have not given CGL, I would say the sources that they can have is either you get any, for maths, you can get Rakesh Yadav's book. I think for CGL, he has both for the arithmetic and for the advanced section, he has a book, and also he provides notes for that. So whenever you feel stuck with any concept, then you can refer to his notes. His notes are very much, clear and precise, which can anyone can go through those notes, and they are given in a very simplified form. Then I think English, for those who have a weak English, they can refer to they should resort to newspaper reading a lot.
Okay.
Because if you resort to newspaper reading, then your GS part is covered, especially the current part. The editorials, through the editorials, you are able to cover the close test part and the para jumble kind of sentences. So reading newspaper can be very helpful. Then for GS, you can get a Lucent book, which is very like a Bible for a lot of CGL aspirants. GS, you can go through it. But here also, I would say that you should stick to previous year papers and strategize accordingly. See from where the maximum questions are being asked, then take those questions and strategize. Like in GS, this is the portion from where the examiner is asking the question. So kindly refer to those sections only, because GS is like an ocean. You cannot cover the entire syllabus. Even if you cover the book once, you will still feel that I have not done anything.
Okay.
So the main thing is you just stick to the some of the topics that are very much which are repeated often in the examination. Stick to those and do multiple revisions for that.
Okay.
Because maths you can prepare, reasoning also it is fairly easy for everyone. English also it is easy, but the problem comes in GS. For that you just have to revise and revise and revise. Multiple revisions is the only key for GS section.
Okay.
As such, if you don't want to get into the book list, what you can do is just take a mock exam. Any platform, textbook, olive boards, just start giving mocks.
Okay.
It is not that difficult. The exam is not that difficult. Graduate with a normal common sense can easily clear it. Just go through a mock, identify your weak areas, mark them down. Then if you find that your topic is not that strong, you can resort to YouTube, watch YouTube videos on that particular topic, clear your concepts, and then again give the exam. I think this would be the smart strategy to appear for this exam if you have time constraint. Exam is in July, I think, for this year. So in that, you don't have hardly have 1 month left. So the best strategy can be just give as many mock tests as possible. Write down your weak areas, refer it, clear the concept from YouTube videos, and then again appear for the mock test.
Okay.
The good thing is you have 2 hours for this exam now. You don't have 1 hour, you will have 2 hours, and I think about 2 hours is sufficient for this particular exam.
Right. Okay.
So strategizing would be the best thing one can do right now, given the time constraint. And it's all about smart knowing. As I said, when I was preparing, I did not even pick up a book. I just gave mock tests.
Okay. You
But
have
if
already
someone,
prepared a lot. You have already prepared a lot during the
yeah, I had
process.
already prepared a lot.
सीडीएस एफकेट सारे वो भी यूपीएससी पेपर कंडक्ट कराता है. यू हैव ऑलरेडी क्लियर दोस, तो आई
Yes,
थिंक
yes.
दिस वुड बी अ पीस ऑफ केक फॉर यू.
Of obviously, because I had that experience, I did not even felt the need to revise. I'm
Okay.
not being complacent here, but I'm just saying because I had that knowledge
Mm-hmm.
with me because of my past preparations.
Mm-hmm.
It should not happen with people that you just go like that. I mean, the
Mm-hmm.
best thing would be strategize and strategize. Smart work is the key. I still
Okay.
believe that even if you give the UPSC exam, if you do the smart work, you can clear it in 6 months
Mm-hmm.
preparation.
Okay.
So smart work is the key. A lot of other aspirants who have cleared, they will also say this.
Mm-hmm. All right, आशीष, now we'll talk about SSP because यहाँ पे बहुत ज़्यादा diversity के लोग आते हैं, different profession they are coming, and different age group also. So how difficult it was for you in terms of other SSPs that you have attended. Along with that, ऐसा काफी लोगों ने पूछा कि अगर कोई पहले SSP नहीं गया और वो जा रहा है, will that be easy for them or it is going to be difficult for them to get
Yeah,
recommended?
sure. See, when you go for SSB for regular entries, you all have people who are unemployed. They
Mm-hmm.
are seeking for jobs, but the experience for a territorial army entry is completely different.
Mm-hmm.
Here, you get people from various backgrounds, from government, various government departments, private companies who are holding very good positions, managerial positions,
Tell me more.
people who
किस
are
तरह
doing
के
their
लोग हैं?
own. Yeah, I mean, in my batch, there was some entrepreneurs who were running their own educational channels, who have worked with the prominent coaching institutes like Drishti and An Academy. Now they have parted ways with those academies and they've opened their own platforms. So these were the kind of people that I faced this time.
Mm-hmm.
There were people who were in the state services, PCS.
Okay.
There were people one of the fellow mates who got recommended with me, he's in customs and GST.
Mm-hmm.
There were people from PSUs, there were people from bank backgrounds, and there were people who were even in agriculture. They were farmers. So the
Okay.
farming category is also in the self-employed category. So,
Mm.
and one guy who got recommended with me, he's an astrologer. So this is,
Okay.
and he was a fresher.
Okay.
He's just 25 years old. He's a
Mm-hmm.
fresher.
Mm-hmm.
So you can just make out the kind of diversity these people have when you have territorial entry.
Okay.
So it is very the people are all very sorted, they're very mature, so
Mm-hmm.
the whole SSB process is very smooth when people are coming
Mm-hmm.
from various rich backgrounds, because they have understanding. You won't get the fish market conditions in the group discussions.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a very smooth process. It feels like you're talking with a lot of mature people. So there is no extra burden, no extra pressure. So this is the difference, I think, which is from a regular SSB and a TSB. Otherwise, the rest is the same.
Okay. Like you said, there were so many mature people for this entry. How difficult it was to get the recommendation for such entry? Because अब यहाँ पे ज़्यादा mature और diversifying nature के आ रहे हैं. तो जो आप regular SSP पे जाते हैं और इस entry के लिए जब आप गए, how difficult it was for you to get recommendation?
See, I will tell you, the profession you are in or the kind of background you are coming from has no say in your recommendation.
Okay.
The recommendation will come only if you fit the metrics that the Indian Army wants or the SSB wants, the OLQs if you have it. If you are meeting those criteria, then only you will get the recommendation. Otherwise, even if you are APJ Abdul Kalam, even if you are Amitabh Bachchan, these are the people who still got conference out, or they were not selected for the SSB. So although it is a very good experience, and personally telling, there were a lot of deserving candidates in my group, which those people I was personally hoping that they get through and they get recommended along with me, but they did not get it. So SSB is not about the background you have; it is about the qualities that you have, which are fit for the armed forces or not. It does not, even if you don't make it, that does not mean you are not a successful person, you are a failure. That does not mean. Either you are fit for this organization or you're not. So I think this is my take. It's all about that. Your profession will not have. I mean, last time when I was appearing for my TSSB in Bhopal, there was a guy who was holding a very management level position, and his age was also 40. He was very dynamic. He was very energetic. His energy was very contagious, and he has that passion for the forces. But unfortunately, he could not make it. He applied this time also. He cleared the exam. I mean, just see the dedication of that guy. He's 40 years old. He is a father to two kids. But this time he could not get the NOC just because of the 6 months training provision that has come in the notification.
Okay.
So people are from very diverse and rich backgrounds. I have heard that there was a guy who was, I mean, in my batch, I guess, he was from the state PCS. He was working in, I think, Haryana or Rajasthan. I don't exactly know, but he got screened out.
Okay. Okay. All right. मुझे अब आपकी SSB के बारे में और जानना है because there are so many other factors we are going to discuss. So this is just an overview question. You have been there in the screening part, psych part, interview, and GTO. Take me through your journey, any highlighting points you have felt this entry had, and how different it was from other entries. Like you said, in the discussion also, there were so many mature people, but any dominance you felt in the group discussion or anything like that, and what really made this entry special rather than other entries. So take me through your journey regarding SSB.
Sure. Sheetal, I have so much to speak on this since this was my 25th attempt. And of all the 25 attempts, I have 13 conference outs and 11 screen outs. This was the recommendation that I got. Okay. So when the first SSB that I went for, I was conference out for that entry. That was in Bhopal. After that, I mean, SSB is something which can, if you do not get the right guidance, it can, spin your mind and you can get into all the wrong things. Then you get into that hit and trial method. Okay, this time this thing did not work for me. You heard from one of the recommended candidates what worked for him, and then you start implementing that thing in your performance. I think it is a very, very bad thing to do. Okay. I have been a victim of that thing as well. So that is why I'm saying that. What happens is you see someone in your group getting recommended, and then you try to replicate whatever he did. But that is not your personality. That is his personality. So you are impersonating someone you are not. And this thing is easily caught in the SSB. Right. You have to be yourself. That is the only key. So in my entire SSB process, I have done so many mistakes. I have taken coaching, but to no avail. All these coaching centers, what I personally feel, I know there are candidates who have joined the coaching and have had a very good result out of it. But for me, these are money-making machines. And no personal guidance was given to me. So that was wastage of money and wastage of time. I've taken coaching thrice. I will not call out the names of the academies. Okay. But still, I would say it is not important. If you are taking guidance, seek it from someone who is, has a very good knowledge of the system, who has been an assessor himself. Then only, and try to get one-to-one feedback from him. Otherwise, if you go in a group, the personalized attention will not be there, and he will not be pinpointing the specific points that you have or you don't have. Right. So it's very important you have the right guidance. The mistake that I did not have the right guidance. I was going to a lot of different people, and that thing actually messed up with my mind. So not getting the right information. And the second problem comes is you have to rewire your brain. You have to remove that unnecessary information. That part is very difficult. Once a brain learns something, the unlearning becomes very difficult. So I took a lot of time to, take out all the preconceived ideas that I had. So this time what happened was to be honest, it has been a very, miraculous journey for me, because I had given up on SSB, to be honest. So this attempt seems like the universe was conspiring to get me to that place. So I cleared the written exam. I got the list came, I think, in August or September 2020. 24.
Mm-hmm.
The written result came in 24.
Okay.
Then I was happy. I got a SSB call in 20th December.
Mm-hmm.
But simultaneously, I was to appear for my SSC CGL mains exam.
Mm-hmm.
I had a word with my parents. They said it's better you focus on the mains exam because SSB is very uncertain. Given your past experience, we know that you will again go, you will again get conference out or screen out, then you will be disturbed for the next 10 days. So they suggested that it's better I give my mains exam. I consulted with my parents. I just let it go. I did not go for the SSB. I prepared for my mains exam. But miraculously and suddenly, I got a mail again in March
Okay.
that all the one absentee batch has been created on all those aspirants who did not appear for the SSB. We are giving a chance again.
Okay.
And additionally, they have reduced the cutoff and they have called other 1,000 aspirants because the number of recommendations were less in the first batch.
Right.
So then I thought, okay, if the universe wants me to go for the SSB, then why not take the chance?
Right.
So I had that 1 month. And then I I braced myself completely, and I just thought that this is do or die kind of situation. Whatever you have done in your previous SSBs, forget it. Think that this is your first attempt. Go like a fresher. Remove all the ideas that you have already in your mind. If you remember, you have one. I don't actually remember the name of the psychologist. You have a session with her, and she has mentioned that SSB, the key lies in the instructions of the SSB.
Right.
Whenever the instructor is giving you instructions, this is what you're supposed to do. I just stuck to those words, and let me tell you, they are very much true. If you stick to the instructions, whatever instructions are given, even in the psych, GTO, and interview, you will get through it. The story writing, I extensively practiced under time constraint for the psych test, following all the points, what led to the situation, what is happening, what was the likely outcome. This is what I stuck to. I think this was the break that I realized, and this actually worked for me this time. Apart from that, my stories that I made in psychology were all related to my personal life. They were not some doing extraordinary work. They were nothing like that. It was all related to my personal life. The kind of person I am, I was just showing what I am in my personal life.
Okay.
In the GTO as well, listen to the instructions very clearly. It's not about you have to speak. It's about you have to take it as a discussion. You have to give valid points, relevant points, so that your points influences the group. People were very mature. They were listening to me. I was letting them speak. They were letting me speak. There were people who were, and it is not about the facts. Sometimes you give a lot of facts in that. It is good. But if they are not related to the point, they are useless.
Right.
Whatever I think a solid or strong level-headed person will say, the discretion that he will have, just apply that. Common sense. Nothing out of the box, nothing extraordinary. Just be a common man and try to approach problems from that mindset. Even in the planning exercise, just be very rational. Try to come up with the ideas which are practical in nature. Nothing extraordinary. So I think basic things, and if you try to project your own qualities, these are the key to SSB. Otherwise, it is very easy. Although it was an uphill task for me until I got recommended. But once I understood the nitty gritty and the core principles of it, then I realized how easy it is. You don't have to make up your mind. You don't have to fabricate anything. Just be yourself. If you be yourself, it is a cakewalk.
Okay. अब precisely personal interview पे मुझे discussion करना है because you have seen a lot of interviews and you have attended it. तो मुझे बहुत curiosity है कि किस तरह के interviews गए होंगे. Please take me through your interview journey because when it comes to personal interview, it's a one-on-one discussion and there are times they drill you, they put you in situations, and having a lot of experience, I think your experience would definitely help candidates who are preparing.
Sure, I have, as I told you, 13 interview experiences. So all the experiences were different from the previous ones. And in one interview, the kind of brainwashing I had, I will share the experience with you. I consulted one of my father's friend. He was in the Air Force. He retired as a wing commander, and he suggested that you should have a hobby, interesting hobby. So he told me that this time when you go, write gardening as your hobby. So he told me that, and I blindly followed him. Because of that hobby, I started searching internet for the scientific names of the plants and whatnot, or stupid things. This actually created extra pressure on me. So when I went for the interview, I was not concerned about what he's asking, but the pressure in the back of my mind was, okay, if he asks questions from this hobby, will I be able to tell those scientific names? Will I be able to convince him that this is my hobby? So this is the kind of negative or wrong feeding that you get from others who don't have the right knowledge of the things. So in that interview, the officer is very smart to catch you. Even if you tell him so many things, he has already accessed so many candidates before you. He will give you a different question and know that he's lying.
Right.
So they are very smart people. I was caught again, but they don't tell you that your mistake has been caught. They just give you a smile and they'll make you believe that your interview is going good.
Yeah.
So this was one mistake I did. Then I think energy is very important when you're giving your interview. Most of the time, even if you are dull. I remember when I gave my serious SSB, I was called for the interview right after my GTO. So it was summers at that time. I was tired, and even in the interviewing process, the IO asked me, Ashish, you look very dull and you're speaking very dull. What is the matter? Then I said, oh, sir, just because I came from GTO, I am feeling low on energy. That is why I'm not able to speak. So I think this is not the right approach, because armed forces is all about physical work. So you cannot complain that, okay, I have been involved in PT, I was doing this exercise, so I'm dull right now. The energy has to be there.
Right.
Throughout your interview, you have to maintain that energy, because if you don't maintain energy, then that shows your motivation is less.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's also a thin line. I mean, some people try to maintain the right energy, and some people try to overdo it. So you have to understand the difference between the two as well. I mean, how you are comfortable with that energy. You should be comfortable with yourself, and then you should direct and channel the interview according to that. So again, some of my interviews they were very dull. I was very scared. I was focused on okay, I missed something. It's all about explaining the right thing to the interviewing officer. Whatever he has asked, just listen to it very clearly. If he is countering you, give the right valid reasons why something was not there. This time he grilled me on so many. Okay, Ashish, you have given so many attempts. What happened? What did you learn? What did you do? I said, sir, I have made mistakes, a lot of mistakes. If I start counting it from the first attempt, then this and this and this, I kept on telling him. Then said, okay, forget about the previous attempt. Tell me what you did in the last attempt that got you conference out, and what changes have you done? So he understood that I have done the homework. I have done the introspection. So that is one point. He should know that he has done the homework. If you beat around the bush, then it's no point. He will know it that he has not done the homework. So after that, I told him, sir, all my 3 testings were really bad last time. My interview was bad. My GTO was bad. I could not speak. My psych was bad. I was not able to complete the stories. So this time I've worked on all the 3 sections. So and how I worked it, I told him, I practice psych stories under time constraint. I used to analyze them personally. Then I had used chat GPT as well. I used to write my stories, and I used to tell me if there is a flaw in the story or not. So this is how I did the cross verification. I used to give the right prompts to the chat GPT. This is what is required. And if the parameters are meeting, then tell me it is a recommendable story. Otherwise, it is not. So this is how I have extensively practiced for my psych this time. Then for my interview, my younger cousin brother used to stay with me. I used to tell him, you ask me this CIQ. I used to put my camera in front of me. Then I used to record myself. Then I used to see my facial expressions, my confidence, everything, where I'm going down, why I'm going down. This is the kind of introspection and analysis I have done this time. In GTO, again, I used to watch, since there is no ground structures available to us, readily available around us. So what I did, I used to watch YouTube videos of GTOs. So what kind of structures are there? Not to memorize the positions I will be putting those bhatti and ballas, but to get an idea what are the structures, what ideas could be implemented. So this is how I prepared for the GTO. Again, I used to pick up one topic, and in my office, there is a colleague. I used to, during lunch hours, I used to tell him, okay, you give me one random topic, I'll speak anything on it.
Okay.
So this is how I practice for GTO. So practice is important. I mean, I have heard so many people say that you should not go prepared for SSB. No, you should be prepared all the time.
Okay.
If someone has done very much practice before, then if he doesn't prepare right this time, then it can be useful because he has already done so many things. But it is always advisable that you do your homework before going for the SSB. It is extremely important because this is the thing which is going to show and to the assessor that yes, this guy has done something. He's passionate about it. He wants to change. My interviewing officer, he asked me everything. He asked me the ranks, right? Not from the commission level, but from the NCO level. He asked me, tell me the rank from. I told him everything. I told him about the war. So this shows that yeah, he's not here for fun. He's here for something very serious. He asked me about my family, my background, what I've done, what all exams I've cleared. I told him wherever I lacked, I told him why I lacked. Whatever activity I do in my daily life, I told him everything, and he was pretty much convinced. He did try to grill me on various things, but I just kept things very pure and honest. No lying, no trying to fool him because he's a very smart. He was the president of the board. He's very smart person. He can just catch you with your mistakes. So you cannot fool the IO. So this time I felt from inside that this was the best interview I've given so far. And on the conference day as well, I was pretty much sure that yes, all the 3 testings have been up to the mark, and I was very confident that I will get recommended this time. But I had still had this one misconception in my mind because last time when I was in Bhopal for TA entry, what happened was during the conference hour, there were 3 candidates who had a long waiting period before they were called in.
Okay.
And only those 3 candidates got recommended. So again, see how these events play with your mind. You get those things and they stick with you forever. So from there, I thought those who get extra time in their conference before they're called and they have a extended period in the conference as well. I mean, they are discussing something, they get asked, although they are borderline cases. So what I believed is only those candidates will make it. But this time when I was waiting for my conference, to be honest, I was praying that please take some time before I'm called in. And even during the process, take some extra time and ask me some more questions apart from the regular ones. How was the stay and all? But I was called right after 2 minutes. Although I was little disheartened that time, but when I went inside, the IO asked me how was the performance difference from the previous ones. That question struck me, and I was sure I'm getting recommended this time.
Okay.
So I answered, said I have done these things different. Then rest were very normal questions. Where did you go? What all did you do? How was your stay? That's it. But from that question, I was very sure that I'm going. I'm not saying this was something, but it is also a very normal question. But because I was confident with my performance, I was sure I'm getting it.
Okay. एंड स्पेशली जीटीयू के बारे में अगर मैं बात करूँ आशीष, कई बार ऐसा होता है कि आपके आसपास में जैसे लोग हैं उनके एक्सपीरियंसेस अलग है. दे वुड बी सर्टेन पीपल who are good in fitness and they're maybe in gymming and doing extra things, and there would be people who are into some good field but not into field works, मतलब उनको physical activity इतना नहीं है. How did you create a balance among those people? And वहां पे काफी लोग ऐसे भी होंगे जो dominating नेचर के हैं और सबको साथ लेके चलना, अपना प्रेजेंस दिखाना, it becomes a very tricky. Like you said, one of the there are different kind of professional people are coming. तो उनको देख के थोड़ा nervousness भी हो सकता है because psych में you are doing it alone. Interview is one-on-one. GTO is something you need to have a balance among the group that you are in. So tell me more about GTO.
Definitely. Sure. Since GTO is a testing where as a group you are supposed to perform. and that is the place where group dynamics play a very important role.
Yeah.
So one thing that I can suggest here is, just even in the candidate lines, when you are interacting with your fellow mates, just be yourself. Try to be yourself, because if you are showing them the right personality, because everyone is there for the selection.
Mhm.
One thing is for sure, everyone is there for the selection, but you cannot get your selection at the cost of someone else. This is true. SSB is very fair. It is going to judge you based on your qualities only. What someone else is doing, that will have no impact on your assessment and your performance, unless you let that behavior affect your performance. Otherwise, SSB is very fair, to be honest. First thing, be yourself when you are interacting with your fellow mates. What that thing does is, that creates the rapport. That gives the impression to the other person, yes, he's a genuine guy and he is not going to fool you or trick you into anything.
Mhm.
He is someone who is going to stay whatever he is now, and even in the discussion, because I've seen a lot of people, one prior task, one night prior to that, we all come together, we just plan, okay, we'll let
Yeah, I heard
the
it.
discussion go in this direction. There are people who try to create that, they try to break that flow of the group discussion. In my group, there was a guy, he said, okay, we will let one person speak at a time.
Okay.
But that is not a discussion, that becomes a monologue.
Mhm.
One person speaking, then you listen to that person, then he will stop, then other person speak. It is not, so you did not listen to the instructions again. The
Mhm.
GTO clearly mentioned it is a discussion, like you do in a cafeteria with your friends.
Mhm.
I mean, we all know that this is not the way we do. Okay, you speak now, you speak now. It is a very casual flow of words.
Yeah.
If you have something in your mind, you might counter it. So there are people who will say this, okay, yeah, we should let one person speak at a time. Convince him that this is not how the instructions were given. If he is convinced, well and good. Otherwise, don't add to the nonsense.
Yeah.
After a time, people will realize that this is completely nonsense and we should move on with the right things.
Yeah.
So first thing is, if you have the initiative ability, take the initiative and take the discussion in the right direction. You should not be like, okay, you just because you want to take initiative, you start with something and you speak a point which is completely irrelevant to the topic itself. That will create a blunder, and it will go, not go down well with the GTO while he's assessing you. So you should not do that. Try to keep the this thing in your mind, that as a group you're performing, so you don't have to get away from the group. Keep the group together.
Mhm.
If you stay in the group, you very much have an understanding what kind of person everyone is in your group. So use their strength.
Mhm.
Don't go against them. Use their strength, so that you can form a good team and you can progress ahead. In the group discussions, you will know who is good at speaking, who is good at that.
Yes.
Even one or two points coming from the other members, and you will realize what kind of depth in his knowledge there is. Is he speaking some nonsense or is he speaking something good? You will have that idea. Try
Okay.
to be consistent with that. The points that you're giving, they should be relevant. Then comes the group planning task. In group planning, plan, write well. When you are making a story, write well. You should inculcate all the things that are important, the resources, the time limits, everything. Finish your story well, and then try to come to a conclusion where you have all the on the same page. All the members of the group are on the same page. So
Okay.
this is extremely important. Now, when we come to the PGT task, there are 4 progressive levels. So at each level, the bifurcation of the group comes.
Mhm.
So this is a horse, he's a donkey. So this kind of things happen. That is why it is a progressive task. So even if someone is trying to dominate in the first task, later on he will be exhausted and he will be out of his ideas. Then the real person who is understanding the obstacle, he will come. So this is a very scientific process. You might think, okay, or if someone is trying to dominate, in your eyes he might be dominating, but he just might be fiddling with the fatti and balla. If he's not coming with the idea, what is the use? What is
Yes.
the use of going ahead? I was leading my group, and I was leading well because my ideas were getting implemented. So the group was happy because the right guy is leading them. Group members were not having the ideas, I was giving the ideas, I was taking them forward.
Mhm.
This should be the spirit. If you don't have the idea, come back. Let this should, I mean, you will not get recommended for your ideas. how you perform in the group. That's the entire task all about. If you think, okay, my ideas are the best, I will try to implement, you will not get it. Try to be with the group. If you have idea, implement it. If you don't have, come back. Let the other person who is. So in the PGT as well, the GTO was asking, whose idea is this? So whenever I was given, I was raising my hand. But whenever I was not given people used to say, sir, it is a collective idea. So that's how the group should behave. So fortunately, I had a very good group this time. But
Okay.
people are from different mindsets. You get to know it through the process itself. Yeah, he has something substantial. He's a good planner. He's a good solver. His thinking ability is fast. You get all that thing during the process. So it is a 9 tasks, a lot of tasks. So you get it progressively. Idea is there. Idea lag jata hai. Yes, ऐसा है.
Okay.
So the whole crux is be a group player. अपने ग्रुप को आगे ले जाओ.
Mhm.
आइडिया आ रहे हैं लगाओ, नहीं आ रहे हैं तो पीछे हट जाओ, दूसरे को लगाओ. Compete किसी के साथ नहीं कर रहे हो. People have this idea that we are competing, but you're not competing with anyone. If you cooperate, you will get the selection. That's the whole thing.
आशीष, आपसे बात करते करते आई फील लाइक यू वेरी मेच्योर रिगार्डिंग द प्रोसेस एंड आपने डूज एंड डोंट सब करके देख लिया है एंड 25 सेकंड्स बहुत होते हैं. नहीं, द वे यू आर स्पीकिंग आई कैन कंप्लीटली एनालाइज. मैंने 80 के आसपास रिकॉर्डिंग्स करे हैं with rank 1 to every kind of personality with a very great personality. First time recommendation maybe 15, but this is the first time I'm recording with somebody who has a lot of experience. I'm sure when you got the recommendation it must be a special moment. Kindly share what was your feeling when you got the recommendation.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I get this a lot from a lot of people that you have a very deep and calm personality. You have so much experience. All the wisdom. I was not this kind of guy when I started first. I
Mhm.
had made a lot of mistakes, and because of those mistakes, I am what I am.
Yes.
So definitely, thank you for that. I will take it as a compliment. Definitely, it is a compliment.
Yes.
So telling about the conference this time, once I completed my conference, I was out of the conference room. Then I was waiting with my friends there. Somewhere I was sure that yes, I will get the recommendation this time.
Mhm.
Then come the JCO. Then he came and he came with the chest numbers. And when he first came, there were only 3 chest numbers. So we thought, oh yeah, the only 3 got recommended.
Mhm.
But later on, a few more chest number came. Then I was like, okay, this time we are getting more aspirants
Mhm.
recommended. But somehow, one of my friends he asked the JCO. I mean, he was on good terms with him, so he said only 5 people are getting recommended. Then I was very much delighted that yes, my name is going to be there among those 5 aspirants.
Okay.
Then third call was my chest number. It was chest number 8. So that moment was completely magical, very emotional. I stood up. The whole group was clapping for me, and from that moment, I started crying like a baby. I was crying and crying. Everyone was watching me. My friends came over. They hugged me and they said, "Very well deserved, brother. You deserve it." I mean, it was all the pleasantries that I received from them. So that was a very emotional moment. After that, I was just waiting for my phone so that I can call to my parents and just tell them. When I called them, I said, initially, I just said, Father, when I have a call with my dad after the conference,
Mhm.
मैं ऐसे ही बोलता हूँ कि यार पापा हाँ कहाँ पे हो बोलते हैं वहां बैठा हूँ तो मेरी टोन से ही गेट दिस फीलिंग दैट क्या इस बार भी नहीं हुआ कोई बात नहीं आ जा वापस.
Mhm.
Initially I was trying to prank him that nahi hua. Phir then I started crying and then I said I made it this time. So he was out of his chair. He was so happy. My mom, she was very emotional. She started crying and I was crying with them. But they were very happy. And that was the moment I've been waiting for. So it was extremely great. Best moment, I would say.
हाँ, लंबा वेट रहा है आशीष. आई एम श्योर अंकल आंटी के लिए भी बहुत स्पेशल मोमेंट रहा होगा. You have literally made me go through your journey.
Definitely.
We'll move further. आई थिंक हमने एसएसबी के अराउंड काफी अच्छा डिस्कशन किया है, पर अब जब हम बात करते हैं ट्रेनिंग के अराउंड तो काफी सारे चेंजेस अभी रिसेंटली हुए हैं. एंड पहले ओटीए में ट्रेनिंग होता था, अब आईएमए में. तो काफी लोगों को बहुत सारे डाउट्स हैं. सो आई जस्ट आस्क यू व्हाट इज एग्जैक्टली गोइंग ऑन. कितने टाइम ड्यूरेशन की ट्रेनिंग होने वाली है, कहाँ पे ट्रेनिंग होगी, और टी कैडेट्स का क्या एक्सपीरियंस एक्सपोजर सिमिलर होता है जो और कैडेट्स का होता है, या इज इट डिफरेंट फ्रॉम देम. Along with that, routine and duration of training, what exactly it is, please tell me.
Okay, based on the information that is available with me, what I can share is पहले initially what used to happen was post commissioning training होती थी 3 महीने की.
Okay.
You get into a unit, you are commissioned there as a lieutenant. After that, you commence your training for 3 months at OTA Chennai.
Okay.
But now things have changed. Now पहले training होगी, उसके बाद commissioning होगी. First, now the training center has moved from OTA Chennai to IMA Dehradun, and it is going to be 6 months training.
Okay.
Once you complete your training, then you will be commissioned. अभी ऐसा change हो गया है. Rest the training is similar to the other cadets who are undergoing their training for the regular entries. It is nothing different. Just the time period is less. If they are going 9 months training or 1 year training, here you have to undergo 6 months training. That's it. Otherwise, everything is same. There is nothing different in the training aspect.
Okay. So right now I
Otherwise, rest I don't have.
IMA के
Yeah.
अंदर भी मैंने सुना है कि अब पहले OTA में ट्रेनिंग होता था, अब IMA में ट्रेनिंग होगा. Is it true or मतलब what exactly is going on?
Yeah, it is true. I have received my call letter, and in that call letter they have copied it to the Indian Military Academy as well. So very well mentioned that you have to report on 4th of July at IMA. These are the documents you are supposed to carry. So in the call letter I have received it. So it is true.
Okay.
We have the proof for that.
All right. So 6 month training in IMA is something that I will take, as something that has been changed. Or I think 6 month training के बाद आप
It has been changed. I think it is going to continue as well.
Yeah. काफी changes.
And yes, you mentioned about the NOC. I think a lot of candidates who reported for the SSB this time, they were out in the first round itself, not for the screening, but because of the documents. They were not having the NOC, first thing. So the private candidates, they will have a problem getting the NOC, because now 6 months, no company will give you the liberty to go for training for 6 months, because it will be a lot of burden for the company itself. And especially for banks also, they don't give you that much of period for the NOC. So this is going to be a problem for people who are in the bank, and I guess there were few who were in the PSUs as well. They were also having issues with the NOC. So these three are a problematic things. For people who are working in the central government, it is easy to get the NOC.
Okay. आपके बैच में कितनी की रिपोर्टिंग हुई थी, कितने लोग कॉन्फ्रेंस तक थे और कितने लोग रिकमेंड हुए, एंड जो रिकमेंडेड कैंडिडेट्स थे वो किस प्रोफेशन के थे?
As I told you कि this whole process has been like up and down. मैंने रिपोर्ट किया उस दिन also I was almost thrown out before the screening could begin because of my documents. Okay. What happened was they asked for the NOC, your ITR. I was not having the ITR. I did not file the ITR this time, but I was having my salary slip. So what they decided was they are going to send back the candidates who are not having NOC and the ITR. We pleaded with the GTO, all the officers there. I was literally crying. I was, calling my friends, although it was 6:30 in the morning. Nobody was awake by that time. I was just trying my best so that someone could file my ITR, because it hardly takes 15 minutes, but no one was available. I was requesting to the GTO officer, sir, because ITR is not that big issue. You have your salary slip. So I was having the form 16A, that is also sufficient, but they were not accepting it. The problem was, and they were very much adamant about it. So around 67 of the candidates reported, and out of those 67, 15 were sent back initially. And in those 15, I was also there. We were pleading, but they were not listening. But then luckily what happened, they got a call. One officer got a call, and they were like, okay, those who are not having the ITR, retain them, but those who are not having the NOC, send them back. So we had already filled the form, writing to the DGTA that please give us a second chance whenever there is absentee batch. We had already signed and given that document. But luckily, I was retained because I had the NOC. And out of those 15, I think 5 or 6 were sent back because they were not having the NOC. So that time also, I was feeling very bad. यार इतनी दूर से भगवान ने बुला लिया और स्क्रीनिंग भी फेस करने को नहीं मिल रही है, वापस जा रहे हैं. So it was a very, roller coaster ride, up and down. It has all the good moments and bad moments. And then finally came the recommendation. So 67 round appeared, and 7 to 8, I think, because of NOC, they were sent back. And after screening, 22 were screened in, and finally 5 got recommended. Out of those 5, I was a central government employee. I am working in CAG. The other one, he is a GST in customs. He is working in Bangalore.
Okay.
Then third one, he got into bank. His DV was supposed to be after the recommendation. So right after the recommendation, he went for his DV. So he got selected for one. He was working in a bank. He got selected as a PO for another bank.
Okay.
The third one was he was working in private sector. So definitely he's going to resign from that job once he joined the academy. And the last one was the self-employed, my astrologer friend. He was a fresher, 25 years old.
टेल मी मोर अबाउट दिस गाय. आपने कहा ना कि पहला अटेम्प्ट था, तो जैसे मैंने कहा, एक लोगों को एक डर भी है कि इफ वी गो फॉर दिस एंट्री एंड वी हैव नेवर अटेंडेड एनी एसएसबी, how much it is going to impact. Any glimpse, you remember about that person?
Yeah, sure. Since it was his first attempt, so he was, although he did come with good preparation, and he was in constant touch with someone who was aware of the SSB, I think one officer. So one day when we had a outpass, we went to a temple there, and I had a word with him. He was telling me about his experience, what all he has done this time. He was asking me, sir, I have done this thing in GTO. Will I be able to get or not? I just assured him, whatever you have done, it is good. So in his conference, his conference took a lot of time. So he was a borderline case. In his batch, 2 people conference took a lot of time. One of them got recommended. Other one did a blunder in the conference itself. So he was not in.
Okay.
Not it. He was given a lot of SRs, and he contradicted himself in those SRTs. After coming from the conference, he was sad. He was sharing the experience with me. I have done this. What do you think will happen? Then I said, you gave your replies, but you contradicted. So I think you will not get the chance. Otherwise, if you have given the right, you stand a chance because you are a borderline case. So he did not make it. The guy, he was also a fresher. The guy who's an astrologer, he made it. He was also a borderline case. He answered correct. I mean, whatever he was asked, he gave the right answers.
Okay.
So he came. For him, I asked him, why didn't you prepare for the regular entries? Then he said, sir, I have a family. I cannot afford to go full time because I have this family business, and now I am the one who is going to take that business forward. So for someone like me, TA entry is the best entry, because with this entry, I am serving the country. I am doing something which is respectable. This profession is very much respectable in the society. So now I have it in me. I can say that it's not about the astrology Baba wala nahi hai hisab. I am someone. I have done something.
Yes.
So that was his motivation. It was very right to have that.
Okay.
So that was his reason. It's not like if someone is passionate, he will definitely start preparing after 12th itself. But he had different reasons. He wanted to prove himself. He also wanted to continue his family business. That is why TA is the right option for him. So appropriate thing for him. So this is the thing about. Otherwise, there was no difference. SSB process was same. Everything was same. Although they do ask, okay, why are you appearing for TA? But his reason and the reason was pretty much okay, and that convinced the interviewing officer. So he made it.
Okay. There is a lot of doubts regarding service life and opportunities. And I'm sure because you are about to enter the life, there would be certain things which you are not aware of. But if you know some of the things, I think I'll just give it a try to ask you those things.
Sure.
एक बहुत जेनरिक डाउट रहता है कि आफ्टर कमिश्निंग लाइफ कैसी होगी टीए ऑफिसर की. पीस पोस्टिंग मिलती है या फील्ड पोस्टिंग मिलती है? तो फर्स्ट क्लैरिफाई दिस प्लीज.
इसमें मोस्टली फील्ड पोस्टिंग्स ही होती है. I can give you 2 examples of my friends. One is posted in Manipur, another one is posted in Kashmir. They are not operating at the front, they are at the back. That is one thing. And mostly their work is terrain specific work, mostly intelligence and convoy clearance. This is the work that they do. And in some places, home and hearth, they are engaged in ecological drives. They undertake plantation drives, all that thing. You might have heard recently the Yamuna cleaning has been given to Delhi TA.
Okay.
There's a unit in Delhi. That particular TA unit is going to be cleaning Yamuna now. And apart from that, relief and rescue operations are also undertaken by TA units. So
Okay.
these are the kind of works. And rest, if the regular unit wants, then they can embody the TA forces and they can call at the recent Sindoor operation was there. You might have heard, it was in the news as well. The chief of defense staff, he said that we give the full power to the army chief to call upon the TA officers to serve for the
Right.
operation. So when and where the requirement is, the TA people are called into action as well. The TA has participated in almost all the wars of the country as well, major operations as well. So these are field postings, and otherwise it's good.
Okay.
The 2 months mandatory service you have to give. Otherwise, if you are willing, you can extend it to more number of months as well.
Okay.
You can go for 4, and even in year, you can go for the entire year for that service. It depends on you.
Okay.
One of my friend, he's doing it for extended period. One friend, he's just going for 2-3 months and he's coming back. So it depends on the personal preferences and choices.
All right. Also, what about field posting, like you mentioned? So both active field posting, राष्ट्रीय राइफल जैसे भी हैं, तो क्या are you eligible for that?
No, you don't get it with the Rashtriya Rifles. No, you don't get it for Rashtriya Rifles.
Okay.
Normal, there are some units which have their TA units. You get placed, but not with Rashtriya Rifles and all.
All right. बाकी perks and benefits, I think सब जो officers को मिलते हैं, वो TA officers को भी मिलते होंगे.
Yes, it is exactly similar to that. And a lot of people have this doubt, what about the pension? It depends on the service that you provide. If you are meeting the service criteria, you will be eligible for the pension.
Right. Now the professional life and documentation. So there are people, I mean, we have already discussed, but since I've written it, so I want to discuss it with you. So there are people
Sure.
self-employed, private sector and government sector. Is there anything they need to keep in mind before they appear for such entry? Like you mentioned, NOC is very crucial. And I've also written it like what challenges a person face agar NOC private company nahi deti hai, to I mean how they can really go forward or what alternative they can have.
See, it is very sad. If you don't have the NOC, you will be out.
Okay.
NOC is extremely important. This is a certificate you have to have. Only then you will be allowed to appear for the SSB. Otherwise, you won't be able to appear. You might give the written exam, you might clear it, but this is something which is extremely important. So if you're applying, just talk to your management before applying that these are the conditions. Will I be given NOC for 6 months training? And then after, if you're planning to, once you get recommended, and if you're planning to do full time, then you can quit the job as well.
Right.
But for that time period, at least, you should have that NOC because only the management can give you that. And that is also a proof that you're working somewhere because the first condition that is mentioned, you have to be employed.
Okay.
So when you're applying, if you're in private sector, make sure you have a word with the management, request them whatever you can do in your capacity. Ask them, I'll be given 6-month training NOC or not. Because once you get recommended, then you can quit the job there. You can continue here for a year. That is in your hand. Then I think central government employees, there is no issue with the NOC. They get it easily and they are easily relieved from the department also when required.
Okay.
So no issues with that. Banks, they have issues. PSUs, they have issues. So they need to, confirm it from the management that will we be given the NOC or not. So that is one issue. Otherwise, every document that is asked for your original documents. And if you don't have, then you have to carry an affidavit regarding that. That's it.
Okay. And like हमने सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट का बात कर लिया है और उसके साथ साथ हमने प्राइवेट सेक्टर की बात करी, बट people who are self-employed, how they can apply. Like if somebody is having their gym, how those candidates can apply.
Uh, for that, they need to have one notary, self attested notary, where they have to write that we are employed as this and this.
Okay.
This is one affidavit that they have to carry, and this easily it can be made if you go to your like in Rajasthan, e-mitra is there. If you go to that e-mitra person and that
Mhm.
I want this affidavit where I want to show myself as a self-employed candidate, he will write all those things. For the
Mhm.
income proof, you need to carry your ITR. That
Okay.
will be proof for income. Both these things are required. You have to present those things to the board. You will be given a chance.
Okay.
I have seen people who are tutors. They give tuition classes. They teach competitive exams, class 11, 12. When they are in the self-employed categories, I have seen people who are farmers.
Like you said.
They in yeah, they are farmers. I have seen like the astrologer person I've mentioned.
Yes.
So self-employed, these are the categories. I have seen people who are running their real estate business
Mm.
in the brokerage thing. So these are the self-employed categories people apply.
Okay.
So that affidavit is important and the ITR is important for that
All right.
as income proof.
Ashish, what about the regiment preferences or posting? क्या हमें choice मिलती है? Yeah, it is decided by the organization service. Yeah.
No, it is very random. You don't have the choice. You don't fill any choice for that. It is very random.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever the DGTA is giving to you, you have to accept it.
Okay.
There is no preference in that.
Okay. What about there will
Yeah.
be a lot of people preparing. So looking back, what is the most fulfilling moment of TA you feel like, including the preparation and before that also? What was the most wonderful feeling? Either getting a call-up letter or getting a recommendation.
Yeah, definitely. PA is something which is very special for me because this is the entry where I got my first recommendation.
Right.
So that 2nd of May was the day when I got recommended. That has been the most fulfilling day for me so far. And then again, on 9th of May, June, I got the call-up letter. That was also a very emotional moment for me. So the recommendation day, and of course the challenge that you have in medical also is very important. I was fortunately fit. I
Right.
was declared fit during my medicals. Rest all the four they were unfit. They are
Mm.
applying again for the re-examination of their medicals. So this is also a big task,
Yes.
getting medical fit. So
Mhm.
I've been medical fit, and now finally I have received my call letter on 9th.
Mhm.
So this whole thing has been very
Mhm.
exciting for me.
Right.
And then definitely when I'll go to the academy, that day is going to be very special for me. The day when I'll start the training.
Okay. Absolutely. I mean, IMA is a dream place for many. इतनी social media पे videos चलते हैं, reels चलती है. People are highly
Uh,
passionate about IMA. And I think this batch is really very lucky to go and get trained in IMA.
yeah,
Yes.
even the women uh,
Hmm.
who got passed out from the NDA this time, I think they will be also undergoing training with us at the IMA. The 17 lady cadets, they
Right,
will be
right.
undergoing training at IMA with us. And the TA people are also there. So it
Hmm.
is going to be very, very good experience for almost all the candidates over there.
Right.
Obviously, the whole campus is very beautiful. It's lush
Absolutely.
green. It has history. It's full of history,
Hmm.
and a lot of very great PVC holders are from that place. So it is going to be really exciting. And definitely, my endeavor will be to keep up with the and preserve and protect the honor of that academy. So that is going to be the whole endeavor. I
Right.
don't know about the ideally, though people who come from NDA they get the sword of honor, but I will do my level best to get sword of honor. This is my motivation now, right now.
It has to be. I mean, you have a lot of
Yeah.
experience. Apart from that, your professional life will also contribute to it, in terms of getting a better training
Definitely.
and other things. There are so many misconceptions out there. You have given 3 attempts of TA. Any misconception you want to highlight? Because we go through the process and then we realize, it was not true. Regarding TA entry, anything specifically you want to highlight?
Yeah, I think when I also applied for it, I was confused about the permanent thing, whether we get permanent or we get it part time. This is the thing.
Mhm.
But I think it completely depends on you. The army encourages you to do it full time. They do,
Okay.
but permanent as per say you do not get the tag. You are into permanent regular army now. You will be there, but your service will continue.
Okay.
Like instead of doing the embodiment for 2 months, you can do it at a stretch for a year. So
Okay.
this is the kind of thing that happens. You
Mhm.
don't get into the regular army. I
Mhm.
think I cannot say there is a provision as well before 30, uh, but I'm not sure. So saying this thing on this platform will not be the right thing, I guess,
Okay. Oh,
because this can I don't have the right backing for those words.
all right. We
So
have come to.
permanent, it's not like you will be permanently shifted to regular army. You will be part of TA, but your services can continue for more than 2 months in a year. So it can feel you will not feel okay. You
Mhm.
will have you have to go after 2 months. You can give your service for the entire year as well.
It's
So
a
if you are
choice.
passionate about it, so you should definitely give it a try. If you
Mhm.
have not been able to make it through the regular entries, do give it a try and live the life of your dream through TA. It's very good because even if you get bored, although that is most unlikely to happen, still, if you want to have a break from the discipline life, you want to come back to your civil life, you can easily switch between these two things. So it is going to be a next level adventure for you.
Yes, Ashish. I mean, this is a very wholesome conversation and I truly enjoyed. And I can't wait to see you in uniform because I'm sure those 2 stars will look amazing on you. And really, really, really very
Thank
grateful
you
that
very
you
much.
made up time for this because there are so many things going on there and here, but we managed to record it. That is something
Yeah,
which
definitely.
I'm really happy about. Thank you so much for joining and all the very best for the training ahead. Stay in touch.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sheetal, for having me. It is completely an honor to be on this platform. And to be honest, I was, whenever I used to watch your videos, I had this thing in the back of my mind that one day I'm going to record one video with Sheetal.
That is
So
really
finally,
sweet.
this dream has also come true for me.
All right. Thanks for watching the video and let me know in the comment section below if you have any doubts. Follow for more such content. Jai Hind.